Hi, it's Elizabeth Sweetwater here. In this video I want to show you a few pattern alterations, like how to grade between sizes, lengthening and shortening a dress body, and also lengthening a skirt. I hope this will help you to create a perfect fit. I'm going to start with grading between sizes. I'm going to grade this dress from between size 38 chest and size 42 hip, and the waist in this exercise will be 80 centimeters. You always want to choose the pattern that matches your chest size. The waist and hip can always be altered. If you have a full bust, you don't necessarily have to go for a larger chest size. The shoulders in that case might be a little bit too wide. Since these patterns are for jersey, you can always add a centimeter or so to the chest. If you do that, in that case, don't forget to adjust the sleeve as well. So I have added some pattern paper to the side of the top. First thing you want to do is measure the top of the skirt. So you measure this top, and in this case that is 24 centimeters. Then the bottom of the pattern piece, the top pattern piece, is 22 centimeters. So the difference will be 2 centimeters, which I will add to the side seam. So I'm going to measure 2 centimeters here. If you measure your skirt piece, by the way, if there's a dart in your skirt, then of course you just measure the areas without the dart. Okay, as said before, the waist is 80 centimeters. The waist of this pattern piece is 74 centimeters, so we need to add 6 centimeters in total. So per pattern piece, that is 6 divided by 4, which is 1.5. So this is my waistline. I'm going to add 1.5, just here. Now I want to connect the line from the underarm point to the bottom line. What you have to do is you have to first fold in the dart in order to make a nice connecting line. It's a bit fiddly, like so. Then you connect the underarm to the waist. And the waist to the bottom. And then you can just copy this line and extend it out. Like so. And now we have our new top piece. You want to do the same thing with the back. Please note that on the skirt there's 2 lines. The first line is the front skirt, and the second line is the back skirt, which is slightly narrower. And your back top piece will also be slightly narrower. So that's it for grading in between sizes. Now I will show you how to shorten the top part of a dress. The zipper dresses have got a lowered waistline. If you would like to have the waistline at waist height, here's how. First you want to copy the area underneath the waist. So you place some pattern paper over it and you trace this area without the seam allowance. You can leave the seam allowance for the side seam. Then draw a vertical line in the middle of the dart. Then you take your skirt piece and you attach this part to the skirt. Like so. Then you want to extend the middle line of the dart about 2 centimeters. And then you connect the top of the dart to the point. So as you can see, there is a little bit of difference in width of the top and the skirt part. So we're going to have to redraw the side seam of the skirt. So I will take a long ruler. I will start at the top, at the seam allowance, and connect it to the bottom, also at the seam allowance. And then all that is left is to add seam allowance at the top, 1 centimeter. Do this bit by hand. So there's your new skirt piece. And then don't forget to add seam allowance on the waistline, and then you can cut away the bottom bit. Alternatively, if you don't want a dart on the skirt, you can also add this distance between the waist and the bottom of the top to the top of your skirt. So you measure this and you add it to the top of your skirt. Then you draw a horizontal line. Then measure your waist. Measure it on this horizontal line. And then again connect it, the top to the bottom of the skirt. And that's it. How to lengthen or shorten a skirt. You can of course shorten or lengthen by cutting off or adding height to the skirt, but that will of course affect the bottom width. So if you were to, for instance, cut off here, then this would be narrower than the original width, and the same goes for extending the skirt, then that would be a wider width than the original hem. So the best way to shorten or lengthen is to cut your pattern in two. When you want to make it shorter, in this case 5 centimeters, you just take it in by 5 and then you redraw the side seam. So you go from top to bottom and you would redraw the side seam. It's an easy way to shorten a skirt pattern. If you want to make it longer, then again cut the pattern in half. Put some pattern paper in between. In this case 5 centimeters. Extend the mid-front line. Then add the bottom half. And again redraw the side seam from top to bottom in a straight line. In this example I will lengthen the top of the tea dress. I think if you are over about 168 tall, you might want to lengthen this top part. You can of course use this method for any top you want to lengthen, by the way. Also, if you want to make the tea dress and you would like to know more about how to sew this tricky corner part, you can go to our video about sewing corners and it will all be explained there. So for this tea dress top in particular, it's a good idea to extend by 1 button width, which is 22 millimeters. If you want to extend it even more, then you can extend it by 2 button widths. So you cut your pattern piece in half, and I have already drawn on a piece of pattern paper the distance between the 2 buttons, which is 22 millimeters, and then you connect the top and the bottom to this piece of paper. So then you want to indicate the middle of this space in between the buttons, which is here. You draw a new mid-front line. And now you know that the button in between needs to be here. You then connect the side seams. So that's it for some useful pattern alterations. If you have any questions or suggestions, do let us know. If you enjoyed this video and like to be notified for the next one, please subscribe, and I'll be seeing you at the next video.